This program. All right, Roy. According to this program, we are now live. How's your night going?
It's good, man. Chilling. Just had breakfast. Literally snarfed it down before we jumped on this call, but
breakfast.
I mean dinner. My bad.
I was like, what kind of day you running, dude? Jesus Christ. 5 o'clock. Are you on like a 1 meal a day or something like that?
Yeah. This is my 88-hour fast.
Hey, dude, that'd be crazy. Imagine. Yeah. I couldn't last like 4 hours. I couldn't imagine 88. All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and just dive right into this. If anyone's listening that enjoys what we're having going on here, if you could just like, subscribe, tell your friends that we're live. I think you're going to have a really awesome time with us tonight. We have a really cool guest. Roy, why don't you tell them who we're going to talk to, and we'll punch him in.
Yeah, today we have the king of CrossFit trolling. If you follow him on Instagram, he is MakeWODSGreatAgain, John Wooley. And he is a CrossFit content creator. But if you go on his page, he is the smartest guy I know because he makes the smartest laughs ever.
Yeah, he's really cool, really funny. Definitely check out his Instagram at MakeWODSGreatAgain. If you're listening, you've probably heard of him, or you've actually seen his stuff. So with that being said, Roy, let's just get started.
The Sweat Collective.
Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter.
If you're going to get a new result, you're going to have to get new action.
You got to get out there and be like, oh, this hurts. This hurts real fucking bad. I'm saying start to learn the mind is powerful. It's powerful, man.
2, 1, go.
All right, John, what's going on, man?
Not much. What's happening?
What was that? A cat you just threw over?
It's Bean. Bean makes an appearance anytime I'm on my podcast or anyone else's or shows or whatever. Like he's I mean, if you follow the page, you've seen him.
Yeah.
Anytime I put the headphones on, he just comes running. I don't know what the deal is, man. He's
That's
just
funny. He must follow the string. He might like the little string that comes down.
I guess he just knows I'm going to be here for a while, and so he likes to come hang out, and he likes to put his butthole right in front of the camera as we're recording. Funny. It's always great.
Yeah, it's great.
My dog actually just came up onto me. He was like, "Oh, I know you're going to be here for a minute. Let me just cuddle up next to you."
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Roy's dog's a little scary though. You look at its eyes, you don't know if it's like playful or if it's going to like bite your head off. I don't even know.
He's also like 90 pounds, and his eyes are bright yellow. So.
Yeah, well, that's what Bean does. You never really know if he's going to be nice to you or if he's just going to scratch you. He seems to be nice right now. He just woke up, but he'll turn into a jerk in a few minutes.
That's all right. Cats are like supposed to be like that, right?
Exactly.
You never know. Anyway, man, how's everything been going lately? How's like life been going in this whole time?
Living the quarantine life like everybody else. Getting too many workouts in and not enough everything else, not enough social interaction. God forbid I went for a run this morning because I wanted to get outside. Like I'm like halfway through the run thinking, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I out here? I'm a CrossFitter. I'm supposed to be CrossFitting, but I just had to get out of the house. So
there was like no snatches or burpees with this run. It was just like a random run.
Just a straight up 3-mile run. Just put your running shoes on and do it for time. It was fun.
Yeah.
Do you have equipment at home or?
Oh yeah, dude, I got a full gym. I'm actually going to come back to the box fitter than I left. I've got so the kind of the long story. About 5 years ago, I actually left the CrossFit gym I was at. I did the math and was like, man, for these $1,800 to $2,000 a year I'm spending on CrossFit, I could just build my own home gym, and so I did. I went out and bought a rack and a pull-up bar and a barbell and 300 pounds of plates and a GHD and a rower. And like, I literally have it all. I got I got an assault bike, a C2 bike, like literally everything I have at the box. And I was feeling guilty like about 4 or 5 months ago that I've got all this gear at home and I rarely use it because I started going back to a gym and, I'm there 5 days a week. So I use my home gym maybe once a week, maybe. And then the pandemic hit and I'm like, I'm the smartest man alive,
Yeah, you have gold. Everyone wants what you have.
Yeah, well, and now I'm also petty as fuck. So I'm wanting to come back to the gym, fitter than all these guys that were kicking my ass before I left. So I'm putting in 2-a-days. I got up this morning, I did a 3-mile run, and then came back. And as soon as I got home, ate a banana, jumped on the C2 bike, did a 15K on the C2 bike. And then this afternoon after work, I came home and did heavy squats and heavy deadlifts, and so I'm good. I'm ready. I'm loving the fitness life. So that part's good.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing CrossFit?
Oh man, since 2011.
Oh, cool. So a long time.
Yeah, feels like forever.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing like the Instagram page?
Definitely not that long. It's a couple of years. Let me think about the dates here. It's probably at this point a little less than 2 years. I want to say it'd be 2 years in June. So coming up on 2.
Cool, man. Are you like I mean, you sound like a very comedical guy just naturally. So I'm guessing that's kind of how you just got started with it, or what?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure if I've ever told the story. So I went through several different types of pages. So I had a blog for a while that I ran for years when CrossFit kind of first started, and it actually had a lot of people following it. But it's a blogs are fucking work, man. Like you're talking
What was
about
the blog name?
it was called JF Wadfather is what it was called. And I had to, you like write, you write these stories, and I'm a decent writer, but it just takes forever, and you really have to be motivated because, there's a lot of editing involved and it's just a lot of work. And I did that for a while, picked up some followers, and, had a Twitter handle that went with it. Well, fast forward to the last presidential election. When that came out, I was like, all right, nobody was expecting Trump to win. And I'm like, this might be an opportunity to create a spoof around his name because he's so bombastic. Like, it could be funny. It had nothing to do with politics on my end. It was just like, this might be funny. So I'm going to create a Twitter handle called CrossFit Trump. And imagine tweets all in the voice of Trump, like, I'm so good at pull-ups because my hands are huge, or I'm going to do, wall balls on the border wall, like shit like that. And it was moderately funny. It's kind of hard to maintain because it's, coming up with a series of one-liners is difficult.
Yeah.
But, it would do well, when during the games and that sort of thing. And I was using it to troll my coaches, to be honest. And we were driving, I was in the car with my daughters, and they think I'm hysterical. And my oldest said to me, she's like, Daddy, you're really funny. She's been saying her whole life that she thought I would go viral at some point. So she's like, you need an Instagram page. You should be doing memes because you think really funny things, but it'd be funnier in memes. And I'm like, all right, we'll create the account. So she created the account and called it, we called it CrossFit Trump. And she told me at the time, she's like, the only thing is you can't do, I want you to just do pictures and put the actual caption in the comment part. And I told her that, I'm not going to do that. CrossFitters aren't that smart. And I was right, I might add. So I had the page for like, God, I don't know, maybe 6 months, didn't do it, literally did nothing with it. Picked up maybe 200-300 followers, did a few posts here and there, but nothing special. And then during regionals, the update show for the CrossFit Games did a hashtag contest, hashtag the update show with your meme, and they might repost it. And so I knew that the woman who was running the update show, I didn't know her at the time, but I knew she was in a relationship with James Newberry, and it was a Pacific Regional. So I'm like, I'm going to do some James Newberry memes. And she saw, and I hashtagged them and tagged her in it, and she saw them, and sure as the world, they reposted them. And I picked up like overnight, like 1,000 followers or something.
Wow.
And then Rob Forte, who, is a pretty decent name in CrossFit, he reposted one. I picked up a bunch from that. And then I started figuring out, I'm like, all right, if I can get people to repost me and to like kind of push me out in their stories, I'll pick up followers, And it was just, and then I figured out the algorithm, and it was off to the races from there. Yeah. And it's literally just never slowed down. Like, it's crazy.
And you're posting like every day.
Oh, I post
multiple times a day, sometimes 10
times a day.
Wow.
So I have a rhythm to it. You guys are gonna think I'm nuts. Everybody thinks I'm nuts. So I this is, swear to God, this is true. I set an alarm. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning every day, and I do a post. I have it ready from the night before. Do a post at 5:30, and then I go back to sleep. And that post is my daily gratitude post. So that's like kind of my give back to the community. It's just, like kind of happy thoughts, maybe the best way to think of it.
Yeah.
And then when I get up at 7, I do another post, and I do posts at 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9.
Wow.
All day long, every 2 hours. Sometimes I'll do more depending on if the podcast has an update. I might throw one in the middle if I have something that I think is particularly funny, or if, like, as an example, let's say Frazier, one of the top athletes, does a post that I think is funny, and I snag the photo. I don't want to wait for somebody else to get it, so I might do it right then. So but yeah, I'll typically do 8 to 12 posts a day, and I've literally done that for. I mean, you can see that if you look at my page, you can see the number of posts I've done. It's a ridiculous
I
number.
know.
I tried to go back to see how far I went, and I like literally couldn't. Like I was just like, my finger got tired.
Yeah, mine too. Trust me, I go back to like try to find posts that I did, and I'm like, shit, why do I post so much? It's stupid.
Do you have a lot of them already pre-made, or you kind of just make them on the fly? Like something's happening, and then you're like, oh, I got to make something about that.
It depends. Like it was funny. So like I just get in this rhythm. So like last night I was sitting on the couch and I was scrolling Instagram and I saw a photo I liked and I made a quick meme out of it. And then I saw another one and I made a quick meme. And before I knew it, I'd made 5 in like 10 minutes. And so those were all for the next day. And then like this afternoon, I finished, I had used all those through 3 o'clock. And then I was like, well, I got to create some more. And matter of fact, I got to post one now because it's 5 o'clock. And I knocked out 2 real quick.
We're messing you up.
No, you're not messing me up. It's already, see, they're already preloaded. It seems good.
Oh, look at that. He's
just press the button and it goes.
Just like that.
See, that's one thing I found with Instagram, though, is like it doesn't automatically post. It's one of those platforms where you do have to manually post it.
Yeah, well, you can save them. So like I'll create them in advance and then save them and then go back and share them. Yeah. But yeah, it won't. They don't allow you to use other apps to share for you. And if they catch you doing that, they ban you. So I don't do that at all.
Yeah. I kind of like that though. It kind of keeps it like more realistic rather than just like a robot posting for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd have tons of people just auto posting all the time.
Oh my god.
And there are people. Yeah, there are people that do that. But it's just dumb. So
yeah. No, that's awesome. So when you find posts, like, do you think of like inspiration through the picture, or you kind of think of like alternative like minds behind that post?
I don't. It depends. I've said forever, like the sweet spot of a CrossFit meme is if you have an athlete in it, or if it's time bound, meaning like during an event that everyone is a part of. Like what's interesting about CrossFit, different than other things, is it's real community based. So it's not always about the athletes. It's about what everyone's eyes are on. So like during the games, if I'm doing, come on, B, see, there he is.
She's getting ready to put her ass up there.
Yeah,
she's got yellow eyes too.
Yeah, he's a freak. Yeah, so it's, it could really be anything. I've always been of the mindset though that humor is always funny when it's at its absurdist point. And then you kind of have to pull back from that just a little, not much, but just a little. So you don't, there is a line, but absurd humor, like as an example, like Dave Chappelle is one of my heroes. I love that guy. He's so funny. And if you listen to him, like he tells some of the most horrible jokes you've ever heard,
But the way he does it.
Yeah, he's joking.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you got to pull back a little on a meme, because it's far different when you can hear someone's inflection. Like when you listen to him, you're like, all right, he's obviously joking. You can hear it. But if you just read his jokes, you'd be like, this guy's an asshole.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's the same way with memes. So you have to be really careful that, you're not misconstrued or what you're trying to do. But that, that's really all I try to do. It's really just like find a funny photo, make it absurd. That's your trick.
Have you ever crossed the line with like an athlete? Or?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. But I'm never intentionally mean. I mean, I feel like I've learned over the years, or the last couple of years, like what you can and can't say. I created rules for the page early on that I haven't broken. I don't sexualize athletes. I don't make homophobic jokes, racist jokes. I don't know. You can make the list. There's
anything that's going to like offend people on that level.
Yeah. Like, because I don't want to be mean. I'm not, and I don't think CrossFitters are mean people, but they do like a good rude joke. So like and I will, like, probably the only time I'm mean, and I would say it's mean, is to the people that I think have earned that, which are the champions, as an example. Like I'll make fun of Frazier being short for a couple of reasons. Number one, dude's won 4 times. He's going to win 5th, and I respect the hell out of him.
There's plenty going for him. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I mean, he's the reigning champ. It's like, I don't know. It's like making fun of the Patriots. It's like they got how many titles those guys got. Like, what am I going to say that's going to bring them down? So and and it's all out of a place of love and respect. But I've had moments where I've pissed off a couple athletes here and there, but nothing that I wasn't able to get past. And then I'm like, all right, well, I won't do that again.
Yeah. I mean, that's very similar to like a comedian in general. Like the comedians have to take a risk when they're on stage to tell jokes. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, like it's all in good spirit.
Yeah. And you got to keep in mind too, that humor is, it's opinion based. Like some things that I find funny, other people don't find funny. Like I made a joke a couple of days ago. I don't even remember the full punchline, but basically the gist was, I remember it was, a kid was talking to his dad and he's like, don't worry, son, someday you'll be a man. And he's like, Dad, I'm 32. And the dad goes, yeah, but you still use the women's RX. Well, I got a shit ton of likes, but there were several women that came in. And I remember one specifically came in and said, oh, I guess all women are just total assholes. And I'm like, the joke had nothing to do with women. Nothing. Right. But that's the way she took it, and believe me, like, and it had nothing to do with whether women are capable or incapable. As a matter of fact, like most CrossFit women are probably stronger than any other woman on the planet, but it would be, but it would be a lie to say that women are stronger than men. Like they're just not. Right. They are not, and so to say that a man should be above the women's RX, I think is fair. Doesn't mean they all are. I proudly use the women's RX. So I'm not, I wasn't judging, but my point to all that is like, it's simply just, it's opinion based. So, you get some people that get pissed off and unfollow and yell at you and call you names, but you learn to just deal with it. And I don't look at the comments that much anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Do you spend a lot of time in there? That could be like a rabbit hole.
I used to. As a matter of fact, that was like kind of the heart of the page for the first year where I would really interact with a lot of the followers. And I've gotten away from that really in the last 6 months because it's just gotten too brutal. Yeah. You got people coming in looking for their minute of Insta fame. They see my follower count and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to go dig on this guy and get him to comment back and it'll make me Insta famous, and I'll get a bunch of likes, and it's just not worth it. Like, so I just don't, at this point, it has to be really egregious for me to give them any time. Usually I just block them. Yeah. If they're coming in and just, trying to be, intentionally be a jerk or whatever, but
yeah, like you're trying to promote all this happiness. You have people that are laughing and then they come in and just try and ruin it all for everyone. It's sometimes. Like, why are you doing that, dude? Like, stop being a dick.
Yeah. I commented to somebody today. It was a girl that I follow who had gotten a bunch of comments on TikTok that, people message her going, oh, you look like a man. And I said to her, like, look, the internet is full of trolls and assholes. Mm-hmm. It's just full of them. Like everybody's got an opinion. They're just cats. That's the thing. They're behind the screen. They know you can't see them. They're going to say whatever is on their heart. They're jerks, but they'd never do it in person. Just be you. You
ever watch that account on there called Daquan? It's I think it's Lil Doovie. I think he runs it, Lil Doovie or something like that. Hilarious memes.
Yeah, I followed Daquan. Yes, I'm aware of. I don't follow a lot of meme accounts. No, very few. Matter of fact, I follow a couple of CrossFit meme accounts, but only because I know them, and I honestly don't look at their stuff. Don't tell them, Fluffy Duck. But but like I don't find memes that funny. That's the real irony in this. Like the real irony of my page. There are two things that are ironic. Number one, I don't find memes that funny. And number two, I don't really enjoy watching competitive CrossFit. Hardly at all. Like I respect what they're able to do. And I like watching it for about 5 minutes, but after you've watched somebody do thrusters, why do I need to watch the next guy do it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't need to see all that.
Well, I think that was like one of the reasons, actually funny story. And I remember you went to the Rogue Invitational.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah. I remember I was behind you in line and I saw your shirt and I was like, oh, that was a great account. Where'd you get that shirt? And you're like, oh, that's me. Yeah. So that's one reason why I love that event though, is because there was not so many heats. Like they cut the field down. So it was like watchable where it's not so boring.
Yeah. I mean, I like the sanctionals because of that. I like the games last year because of that. I thought it was much better because there were fewer heats, like who wants to watch, the fourth heat of a group that have no chance to finish in the top 10. Like
exactly.
It just bores me. Like I don't need to see people do pull-ups and sit-ups. I don't like doing them myself. Why do I want to watch somebody else do it?
Yeah.
But I do love watching. I love watching Fraser lift. I mean, the dude's just ridiculously strong and talented, and the same for the female athletes. Like that battle last year between Amanda Barnhart and Tia Toomey in the clean ladder or the clean event was just outrageous, So that stuff's fun.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about like you have a day job as well?
Yeah. I'm a banker.
A banker?
Yep.
So you're known as like the funny guy in the office, or?
Well, I'm the boss. I'm the boss, so I don't. If they laugh at my jokes, it's probably because they feel like they have to. I'm a regional vice president. I have 17 branches, 100 employees, give or take.
Wow.
Manage it's 1.2, 1.3 billion, maybe under assets. It's a lot of money. It's not. None of it's mine, so it's not that impressive. But yeah.
So are you just like in the office, just like scrolling through, trying to find things to make fun of all day?
No, that's the thing. Like I get everything done in the morning. So like I said, I get up early. These days I'm rolling out of bed later because of our hours are different due to the pandemic. But in normal circumstances, I'd be actually getting out of bed at 5:30 and kind of starting my day. And then I'd spend, probably an hour putting together content, and then I wouldn't focus on it again. After that, I just, put them in the queue and, kind of release them throughout the day. And then occasionally I'll create some during the day, mostly because people send me so much stuff now. Like they'll send me something. I'm like, oh, that's funny. And I'll create it on the spot. But I don't spend a lot of time focusing on it during the day, to be honest. If I see stuff that's funny, I might note it and save it,
Yeah.
But my job is my job, and it pays way better than memes. So
yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
So do you, hold on, what was I going to say?
I was curious if you monetize any, like from Make Wilds Great Again in any way. Like,
well, we've got the podcast.
Yeah.
I've been really cautious. I mean, I'm sure I will at some point. Like, I don't like following accounts that do a lot of advertising, and bluntly, I don't need the money. So my thought was, I'm just going to continue to grow the page as long as it continues to grow and give people that treat of, oh, well, here's the page where I don't get an advertisement every 30 seconds. And I've got the podcast, so we're starting to do ads on that and sponsorships.
But I'm sure if you put like 8 out of 10 of those memes on a shirt, people would buy them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're talking about, we're going to do some of that. I've sold some shirts here and there, nothing like worth bragging about. It's not what motivates me right now. I know there are people that are going to listen there and go, what a dumbass. Like he's just throwing money away. But I really don't think I am. Like I kind of view it as, the time and effort and the non-money I'm bringing in right now is an investment in the future. And so, you can start selling t-shirts and merch and lock your page down at 150,000 followers, and you'll have a rabid group of followers, but that's your base. Or you can continue to grow and get it to 1 million and see what happens. Right. And that's what I'm trying to do is like, I want 1 million followers. I don't want 100,000.
Yeah.
And then, I will monetize some and do some different things. The podcast is the future of the page though. That's where, I think we'll really honestly have a chance to make money and to make a bigger impact. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just being able to have conversation with people, especially you have a conversation, you're mostly focused on like athletes, obviously, right?
Some like right now we are. So like in the last couple of weeks, we have a ridiculous group of people coming up. Nikki and Nikki's co-host, last couple of weeks, we're like, all right, everybody's stuck at home. Let's call everybody we know and see who will come on. So we got Panchak, Vellner, Noah Olson. I just got a commitment from Frazier.
Cool.
Who else is coming on? Hunter McIntyre, I'll release his this week. There's Margot Alvarez, there's several that are in there that, all games athletes, but we're also, we're talking to a cancer charity in a week or so. I think we're going to continue to try to do that. We had the owner of a salt bike on because I thought that would be funny because everybody hates the salt bike. We really just want to talk to interesting people. Like that's, now admittedly, every time you have an athlete on, it gets more hits. Like Jacob Hepner had more downloads, than I had seen in a while. We had Danny Spiegel on, and people just love her. So she got a ton of downloads. Like so the big name athletes do better. But we have no interest in in doing podcasts around CrossFit news or even CrossFit the sport. Like, we just want to talk to people. Like, the whole Danny Spiegel podcast is really funny because we spent no time or very little time talking about the sport of CrossFit. We spent a ton of time talking about people that have a shoe fetish for her. Yeah,
I did hear about that.
I just saw today you like reposted like one of her requests. It was like, we'll take 30 grand.
Yeah. Well, look, that was the thing. Like, as we were talking about, I don't even know how it came up in the podcast, but she's like, oh my God, I get so many messages. I'm like, send them to me, dude. I'll negotiate for you. I'll get you some money. Like, you'll make more than you ever did competing,
30 grand for a photo of my foot.
Yeah. Like,
there's some weird people out there.
Oh, dude, trust me. If any of these CrossFit women wanted to get into a foot fetish, they'd make a fortune.
Oh,
Nikki accidentally sold a photo of her foot. Like, and she paid like $500 for that. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, I told them, I'm like, damn, I might
selling socks.
I'm gonna start selling pictures of my feet, and I have ugly feet.
Someone will buy it, man. Someone will buy it.
Hey, maybe.
I feel like there's a meme or a post in there that you haven't posted yet.
Yeah, well, it's kind of an isolated joke. That's the thing. Like, again, the things I find funny are like, the podcast did really well, but it's a really small segment of my audience. So I'd have 200 and
like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, it'd be 3/4 or if not greater of the audience be like, what the hell is he talking? Why is he talking about foot fetishes? What a weirdo, So
I mean, I know people that like sell, I mean, not personally, but like you look online, people are selling like used socks. They're selling like used anything. Yeah. And there's some weird freaks out there that buy that stuff for a lot of money.
That's what Danny said. Somebody messaged her and they're like, hey, we'll give you, $1,000 for us to send a pair of your workout shorts. Just don't wash them.
Oh my God.
I'm like, shit, Danny, I'll wear them for you and split the money. Let's just split the money. Like, swear to God. I need to get them to license this. Like, I'll wear their shit, sweat in it, send it. Nobody will know the difference.
What you should do is send a package and then send a delayed package 2 weeks later with a photo of you wearing them in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, here it is, right? You just get all these athletes' gear, you put it on, you sweat in it, send it to them. They think they have that athlete's scent, but it's really just your scent.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yep.
Speaking of, I saw like this documentary once where it was like a factory and it was like pretty much underwear and people were just like putting droplets of things that smelled like human body. Right. Whatever, and they were just selling it, and they were just making bank. They were like millions of dollars.
Hey, there's a market for it. It's a creepy market, but there is a market for it.
Well, it sounds like this is all just like a passion project, right? Like you're just doing it because you fucking love it and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, mostly because it's fun. I don't even know how much I love it anymore, but but it's fun.
Like CrossFit.
I'm creating friendships. Like for me, it's weird. You create friendships, people get to know you, people know you that you don't know you. Like at a weird moment a week ago, I kind of knew Pat Bellner, like I never really talked to him much. We've messaged a few times, but didn't really know him. And so I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I know, you're bored like the rest of us. We come on the podcast. And he's a funny dude. So he responded, he's like, yes, as long as you send nudes and erotic photos of Bean. Well, Bean is my cat. And he called him by name. Like he called him by name, and it occurred to me, I'm like, wow, that's like really weird. Like the guy finished second at the CrossFit Games knows my cat's name.
Yeah.
And so like, that's the kind of stuff that's just fun and funny to me that, you get to know them. And then, in a lot of cases you make friends with them. Like, you get random messages from Chandler Smith or Jacob Hepner, one of these guys that, you just get to know them over the years, and they're just funny dudes and they're fun to talk to. And so that part's, really cool. So I like that. But yeah, for now, it's a passion project. I'd love for it to become full time. I mean, if I could figure out a way to make enough money, but again, I got a real job and it needs to pay more than the bank does, and banks have a lot of money, so it's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like any good business does. It's like you just start by enjoying what you're doing, making really good relationships, and then eventually, once you get to a point where it is sustainable, it just builds itself almost.
Right.
And I feel like that's like it's a different approach because there are a lot of people out there that want to start a business or something like that. And they first build out the product. They first buy a website and they design the website and they're like, oh, people are going to come to the website. They're going to come and do this and they're going to interact with my content online. And like your approach seems like a much smarter approach, which is what most people probably should be doing.
Well, look, I get asked the question a lot, like, how do I build a following? I got asked the other day, actually, a company messaged me and like, how do we build our Instagram following? I'm like, you got to be authentic and you have to, build a community, and most importantly, you have to be relatable. Like that's the way you build a community. Like you want people that follow the page. If I've heard one thing over and over and over for 2 years, people will message, go, "Oh my God, this is so me," or "This is so relatable." And I think that's what what resonates with the page. People will look at a post and they'll go, I don't know. It could be something dumb about buying another pair of shoes when you don't have the money to do it. You know how many people do that? Like everybody does that. Yep. And so somebody somewhere looks at that and goes, "Shit, I did that yesterday." That's what you want. Like that's the beauty behind it. And you just start to build a community, and the great thing about CrossFit is we all do the same dumb shit. Every single one of us. I don't care who you are. We all do the same stuff. Yep. And even the big name athletes all do the same stuff. So
yeah, we all are more interested in the clothes than the actual workout.
Yeah, pretty much.
What I like about your page is that it seems like you focus on like the everyday CrossFitter, even though you are talking about like the bigger athletes sometimes. It does seem like it's more coming from the view of like, oh, I'm a CrossFitter in my box and I'm kind of viewing them as opposed to like whatever their experience would be. Like it's not as funny from them.
Yeah, I talked to Arm & Hammer about this the other day when he was on the podcast, and he was kind of lamenting that, with all the sanctionals being canceled, that he felt like it was really going to hurt his business. And I'm like, Armin, like it's not. If you focus on the right way, like the heart of the community is not the games. Like the games are fun, people like the games, but nobody gives a shit about Matt Frazier when you go in and work out next to your buddy. You care about your buddy. Mm-hmm. Like nobody comes in on Tuesday morning at the gym and goes, "Hey, did you see that snatch that Matt Frazier did last night?" They come in on Tuesday morning and they go, "Hey, Frank, I kicked your ass yesterday." Like that's what they do. They care about themselves. Like, and so, yeah, I try to make the bulk of the posts about the community and very few. Like I did one the other day that I thought was really funny, but it was really specific. It was a Frazier post. And I was laughing as I made it. And as I was,
is that the one where he's like fat or whatever? Or like has like the big sweatshirt on or something?
No, it was the one where he says, "I fear nothing but that thing," and it was a popular meme, and it was a photo of "You must be this tall to ride the ride," making a short joke, and I thought it was funny, but I knew it wouldn't do well. It was really kind of a throwaway joke for me, and I knew it wouldn't do well because it was a specific athlete joke. Mm-hmm. Like it's not relatable.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that unless you know Matt Frazier.
Yeah, like it's just not. Well, even if you know him, it's just not relatable if you're not 5'6", and a lot of people aren't 5'6". So I knew it wouldn't do well, but you kind of have to do some of those jokes. Like it's a meme page, so you got to do some. The relatable ones are always the ones that blow up or do the best.
I feel like those are my favorite memes. It's like you take, you look at Barstool Sports, like half of what they do is kind of what it sounds like your daughter wanted you to do, is like put a video on and then put the thing in the comments. But like what they do is they take an unrelated scenario in the world and then they make a related post so that it kind of relates to that person.
Yeah.
I think that's the funniest part for me too. That's actually kind of why I love your page, because it's like, so, most of them are fitness related, but there are random ones where it's like not fitness at all, but you're turning it into a fitness related post.
Right.
And do you have any type of like inspiration behind all that? You just kind of like,
no,
besides like Dave Chappelle, you said, but
no, I just have this kind of, I told somebody once, it's like a weird superpower where I can just like look at a photo and just think something dumb. Like I come from a funny family, like everyone likes to joke around, and so I've been around humor a lot, but I don't know, like my mind just works differently. Like I have ADHD really quick, but it goes on to the next thing like immediately. And so it's a struggle in a banking job where everything's really black and white. I keep a lot of lists. I have to do a lot of checklists, to kind of keep track of my day. But with memes, it's really easy because content's flowing so quickly. I can see it and just jump on it. And kind of the beauty of ADHD is that it gives you intense focus. So when you see it, you can just dial it in. And it's the only thing you're thinking about. And then I can just sit there and kind of problem solve what the joke is until I get it. Usually they come really quick. Sometimes I'll save a photo for weeks and not use it until I come up with something. I got probably a dozen on my phone right now that I'm just kind of waiting until I think of something. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's like my whole camera roll is just filled, but I lose them. Do you like keep them organized in folders and stuff?
No.
You just keep them in there. You just go back one night and you're like,
and sometimes I lose them completely. You know, as a matter of fact, the one I did yesterday of the dude carrying it was Thor, I think, guy carrying the gigantic bag. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd had that photo for a couple of days. Totally forgot it was in there. And then I saw it. I'm like, oh shit, that photo's funny. I got to use that. And I used it real quick, you know?
Yeah.
That's good timing too.
Yeah.
He just pulled the 501, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, do you sometimes do you find a joke in your head and then you go back and find the photo or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I'll do that pretty often. Usually what'll happen is, it's actually harder right now because I'm not in a box. Like and it's partly why I really enjoy going to CrossFit as opposed to just working out at home and saving the money.
Mm-hmm.
Is you see things and I just visually store it. I've had multiple instances where members have looked at me and said, "Don't meme that shit. Like, don't be talking about me." You know. So yeah. So I'll see something and I'm like, okay, you know, I've got to go back and find, you know, a photo or a video to go with this, you know, like an example of that would be, you know, if I see something and I'm like, you know, if I know the joke is the CrossFitter going, oh, well, you know, you need a photo of a shrug, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or a video of a shrug. And so then I just search to find one that's funny. You know, It's not that Google's got everything, dude. You can literally just go in and go funny shrug and it'll show up like, you know,
You ever use Giphy?
Oh yeah. All the time.
Yeah, that's fun. All right, so Roy, so right now we're just gonna do a little game. We usually have a game with we usually talk to more like fitness experts, but since you're someone completely different, we're gonna play a little different game. Roy's gonna lead us through it, and then we'll kind of run with it.
All right, you're saying I'm not an expert? What the hell, man?
No, you're an expert.
That's why we're asking you. It's more it used to be like science or not true for now, but this is more like your opinion. So the first one is who's your favorite athlete to troll?
To troll? Oh, damn, there's so many. Probably Vellner. He's just funny. Mostly because he's funny. He will come into the comments and give it back to you like
he's so funny.
Yeah. Second to him though would be Chandler Smith because Chandler is equally funny and really good at smack talking. He also has tiny little calves. So
well, you definitely need someone that could take a joke. I'm sure there's some athletes that can't, but it sounds like Vellner and Smith both can take jokes. Which is good.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
All right, go ahead.
Who would have won the CrossFit Games this year? Well, I'm assuming that it's not happening, but if it does happen.
Oh, Frazier is absolutely going to win. The women's a little bit more of a toss-up, although Tia is still just dominant as hell. The women always seem to be closer to me than the men, and every year Tia proves me wrong. So I'm going to say they're both going to repeat, and I think the games will happen in some capacity.
I feel like she's becoming more dominant than him more recently.
Well, the men are certainly starting to catch up. There's no denying that, but I don't think he's beatable. And I love the dude. Like, I'm a big fan now. I wasn't always a fan. He has absolutely made me a fan, and I think he's unbeatable.
He's unstoppable. His mindset is like beyond everybody else.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay, who's more snarky, you or Castro?
I'm more snarky. He's more thin-skinned.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's true.
He's also he's smarter than me, though. No doubt about it. He's a great programmer. That dude is smart. I've met him once. He wouldn't remember it in a million years. He's a great coach. And from everyone I know that knows him, I don't know him, but everyone I know that knows him loves him. And I think he's a great programmer, great coach. He's actually kind of sneaky fit. Like, he's pretty fit. Dude can run.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, he smoked my ass on a trail run, and I'm a decent runner. He crushed me. But he's a little thin-skinned.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a good.
What do you follow for programming? Are you following just you do your own stuff or what?
Well, when I'm in the gym, I train with the Panchecks, so I follow the Pancheck programming.
Gotcha.
But here at home, screw them. I'm doing my own. They can't tell me what to do. So, best efforts in Gym JFW. So, I do my own. I'm a good programmer, though. I've been super fortunate. So in the 10 years I've been CrossFitting, My first coach finished second at the games in the Masters division. Let me put it this way. Every coach I've ever had has made it to the games. 2 have been on the podium and 3 have been in the top 4.
Oh,
So I've seen programming from some of the best in CrossFit for 10 years. I've just been really, really, really lucky.
Yeah.
Surrounded by greatness.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
What's the best Instagram handles to follow right now, if you have one?
Oh, besides Make What's Great Again? Well, like I said, I don't follow a lot of meme accounts, so it's hard for me to say. I mean, the ones that I do follow, I follow Fluffy Duck. He's a funny dude. He's a nice guy too. My friends that I follow, so I follow Team Richie, or Craig Ritchie, and Wanderlust Pocahontas is her Instagram name, but Jasmine, and they're more of a YouTube channel, but you can follow them on Instagram. Obese to Beast, which is John Glaude. He's a weight loss guy, but he does great stuff. And
great.
Also a really, really good dude. You got to follow Nicole Brazier, my co-host of Make Pods Great Again. I think she's funny.
How'd you meet her?
Like I meet everybody else, I ran into her in an event. So I had launched the podcast. I had a co-host at the time. He and I are still good friends. But he has a full-time job. He's super busy. We just couldn't coordinate time. I also, in the back of my mind, wanted a female co-host. Like still don't feel like there's just enough female voices in the sport.
Agreed.
And Nikki's the sideline reporter for the CrossFit Games. And I'd run into her at an event, was just, I don't know, BSing with her like I do everybody else. And I'm like, what's next for you? What do you want to do? And she mentioned, like, I'd like to do a podcast someday. And so we, I told her, I'm like, well, file that away and let's chat later. And, I had her on the show. I'm like, hey, why don't you come on the show, do a segment with me, do a games update. And she did it. And like the first episode we did together was, I hate to call it magic, but it we just immediately clicked.
Yeah,
like we're super easy to talk to. It was funny. She cusses more than I do. Like it was really like everything about it was like kind of perfect. And so I had her, back on like several times. And then at the beginning of the year, I'm like, hey, you got to come on full time and I'm not going to do any shows without you. And that was it. And we just have been doing it ever since. And truthfully, like as soon as she came on full time, the following at this point is quadrupled. So
wow. That's great.
It's cool.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. This is called Froning versus Frazier.
Okay.
But this is the context. First question. Who would beat you first in a 1 mile sprint?
Of those two?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know which one of those guys is faster than the other. They both destroy me. I think Frazier's actually a sneaky good runner.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but Frazier would smoke me. I'm pretty sure. They both would. It's probably an unfair question.
Well, Froning's kind of like a bum knee, so maybe he's got a leg up.
First of all, I'm one of those who don't think there's a thing that Froning can beat Frazier at. Not a thing. And I love Rich Froning. Don't get me wrong. Rich is a great dude, but there is no debate on who's fitter right now. Just in my mind, no debate.
Yeah, because I think when Froning was around, there was less competition too.
They're different athletes, and yeah, it's different times. It's like saying is, LeBron better than Michael. You just
split the CrossFit community in half, by the way.
Look, you put these guys in the same era, and you could have the debate, but they're different eras, different training methods. Frazier has had the benefit of seeing everyone before him, just like LeBron has had the benefit of seeing everyone before him. I personally believe LeBron and Michael head to head, LeBron would destroy him. It wouldn't even be close. But you put them in the same era and they've seen the same level of experience. It's a different debate. Like, it's not fair. They're both amazing, great athletes. As they stand today, Frazier's fitter. He's, he's younger. He's at the top of his game.
Okay. Froning versus Frazier. Who's got the best beard?
Oh, Rich. No doubt.
It is pretty crispy.
Rich is a pretty boy. He is. Yeah. He is. He's a good looking dude.
So full.
Yeah, I know.
The line is kind of clean sometimes.
It's perfect. And truthfully, I don't think Frazier gives a rat's ass about any of that. I don't think like
portrait photos of him, and his like beard is like coming up, backing up into his face and stuff like that.
He's more worried about where's the chalk bucket than where's my razor.
Yeah. That's great. All right, last one. Froning versus Frazier. Who's got the best smartass comments?
Oh, see, that's close.
Yeah,
Really close, but I'm going to give that one to Rich.
Okay, cool.
Rich is funny. Matter of fact,
Rich is so funny.
Rich loves to. He gave somebody some shit on Twitter today. Cracked me up. He was one of the very first athletes. This is how I learned I needed to tag athletes. So one of the first memes I did the Rich Froning starter pack. Back when starter pack memes were still funny. And it was 4 photos, and it was wrist wraps, Reebok lifters, and then I put Nair so he could wax his chest, and Rogaine because he's going bald, got a bald spot. And I tagged him, and he came in and commented, and all his comment said was, "I don't wear wrist wraps." And I thought, I was blown away. I'm like, this guy is funny. Like,
yeah, his one-liners are so incredible.
I'm like, I just trashed this dude. Said that he waxes his chest and that he's going bald, and all he does is pick the one thing on there that he should be using. You know, it was great. And I've talked to him several times since then. I said to him once, I'm like, hey, I hope you're not offended when I make fun of you. And he said to me, he's like, look, first of all, you gotta have thick skin in this. And he's like, second, when you're the high profile guy, people are gonna make fun of you. Like, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're just gonna be miserable. He's a really great dude.
I think what's great about the two of them is that they seem like their personality is unbreakable. Like
well, Frazier, the funny thing is Frazier's really funny. Really funny.
So funny.
And he's a great dude. I met him at the Rogue Invitational. And at the Arnold a year ago. And I had done a post prior to going. I didn't have that many followers at the time, or nothing like I do now. And I did a post of a wrestler body slamming another wrestler, and I said, "This is going to be Matt Frazier when he meets me." And he straight up DM'd me, and he goes, "No, I'd never do that. I love your page, dude. You're really funny." And then I met him the next day. Like I saw him. I had my shirt on, had the logo, and he pointed at it. He walked over, and I'm like, "Don't kill me, bro." And he's like, "Oh, I fucking love your page, dude." And he put his arm around me, and of course, his arms are around my waist because he's so short. And and I'm patting him on the head. I'm like, "Thanks, dude. Thanks, little guy." And we took a photo. And he's a funny dude. He really is, and he's, by all accounts, a really great person.
Do a lot of these athletes you meet, or anyone in person, like obviously you don't have a lot of your face throughout your Instagram, so a lot of these people that just see you in person, they just kind of see your shirt and then they like put your face to the account? Well,
my face has been on the page now for a long time. They all know me at this point, almost all.
By now.
If they don't, it's weird. Yeah, if they don't, it's weird. Yeah. So I like the incognito days are over. I can't really go to an event without getting noticed. Yeah, and that part's weird for me, not for them. But yeah, so they know who I am, for better or for worse.
Yeah, right. Awesome, man. Well, it's been like almost 50 minutes now, so let everyone know. Does anyone besides the people that are in CrossFit, like, where can they find you? What are you up to next? Like, do you have any plans for besides the podcast?
Well, right now, just the podcast. So I'm going to obviously continue with the meme page and the Twitter page, and then podcasts. I've got 8 episodes recorded. We haven't released yet. So we're going to continue to do that for a while, push that out. I'm not really looking to push out any additional new content for the short term. Like, I want to get past this pandemic, get back into the gyms, want to get back into the sanctionals and some of that, and find out what's going on in the community. And, I don't know, I've got ideas in my head. Like, I'd like to get further into YouTube. I've got some content on YouTube, but I haven't really gone fully into it. So I'm exploring some ideas of what I think people might want, but I don't want to do it if it's going to be half-assed, and I want it to be good, and so I'm just trying to think of things that, I think would benefit the community and that people would relate to. I
could see some like funny satire type stuff on YouTube from you. Get some athletes involved.
Maybe, it's funny. Like, I don't, the podcast isn't designed to be funny, and I don't want to do comedy. Like, I just don't. Like, the memes are easy, but like scripting out a comedy skit or even satire is really hard. Now, I have considered, like just doing voiceovers of other people's stuff, because it's really easy for me to make fun of people in person. Yeah. And, doing something like this live periodically could be funny, getting people on just a smack talk, I think could be good.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I'd like to give people my opinions on some stuff, because what I'd really ultimately like to do, I think, through YouTube is help people that are new in CrossFit, which bluntly is kind of the sweet spot for the meme page, is like those people in the first 3 to 5 or first year to 5 years, they're like fanatical about it.
Totally.
But they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what kind of shoes to wear. They don't know what kind of belts are out there. And so I wouldn't mind like giving them some unbiased product reviews, not just so I can get free shit, but so I can like really talk about it. Like, hey, like I have a bunch of stuff from Under Armour because they sent me a bunch of stuff, and the shoes are great, but there's some tweaks about them I would make, and I would tell that to people. That's the kind of the beauty of my page not being monetized. I can't be bought.
Yep, absolutely.
Like it's funny. I'm a big proponent of Fit Aid. I got a big case of it here at home today, actually. And somebody said to me once, "You're pushing that stuff out because they give it to you." I'm like, they absolutely do not give it to me, and they offer. They've multiple times said to me, "Hey, can we send you some free product?" And I'm like, absolutely not, because number one, I want to support your product because I believe in it, and so I want to pay for it. And number two, you don't own me. I want to be able to make jokes about your company. And they like that. They like the jokes I make. I'm not going to be mean about them, but I don't want people to think that, they can give me a free pair of shoes and then I'm going to go, "Oh, you should go buy the new whatevers." Like,
yeah.
I'm not a shill,
Yep. Well, that's the other tricky part, is like there's a lot of like the second you put any type of brand or logo on any type of post online, they think you're promoting that product.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. I wear and talk about the stuff that I really like. Some of it's been given to me, but trust me, I get a ton of stuff sent to me that I never talk about because it's just not good.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't do anything for me. So, I like the Under Armour stuff. I talk about it a lot because I love it.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable and it works, and it's good for CrossFit, and CrossFitters don't wear it as much, but I also wear the Nanos and everything else. I got a pair of Metcons showing up tomorrow. It's like, I talk about all the shoes. It's great.
Yeah. Under Armour is very underrated. I mean, they're not very heavily in the CrossFit space, but I think they missed that opportunity almost.
Well, they're trying to get into the space. They flew Nikki and I out for their athlete summit and gave us a bunch of gear. Matter of fact, I was headed to Under Armour today when I was out running, and their running gear is spectacular.
Wow.
Their CrossFit stuff's great too, though. They gave us both a pair of these, what are they called? The Tri-Base Rain 2s. And they're specifically for CrossFit. James Newberry wore them at the games, gave him his feedback, and they adapted them based on what he told them. And they're great shoes. The color they gave me is ugly as fuck. They're so ugly. They're like neon salmon. Like, they are so ugly. But you know what? I was telling a guy from the other day, they are my go-to shoe. I literally wear them in my basement 5 days a week.
Wow.
I choose them over the Nanos, and I got a $150 pair of Nobles. I choose them over those. And I wear all those other shoes too. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm doing a WOD and I'm like, I want to feel comfortable and not think about what's on my feet, I go to those shoes. They're great for me. They're kind of a perfect balance for me between the Nano and the Metcon. They're not too tight, not too wide, got a good heel lift. They're good for squatting. They're stable. You don't feel like your ankle's going to turn when you're doing rope climbs. They don't come off. Like,
right.
They kind of fit all the buckets.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great. I'll have to try them out.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I wear Nobles right now, but like I hate them to run. Like, if I run any more than like a 400-meter run, my feet hurt. My arches are killing me every time.
Well, yeah, they're so flat, dude. Like, I have a pair of the high tops, and they're beautiful shoes, and they look great.
Yeah.
I wear those like just out when I'm out with people. But they are not good to run in. They're great for everything else. They're great for burp. I mean, they're unusually good for burpees and box jumps and like all the other stuff. But man,
the bottoms of them are just like so like not movable.
Yeah, completely flat.
Yeah, they're very durable. I love them for like rope climbs. I wore the last pair of Nanos I had. I think they were like the 5s. I wore them for 3 months. The sole was already breaking off. Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me try a new shoe. Got the first version of the Metcon. Worst shoe I think I've ever had. Terrible. Then I got the Noble, and I was like, this is good. But then I started to run in them. I'm like, I can't do it.
See, I don't own any Metcons currently. The funny thing is when the Nano X came out a couple weeks ago, they sent a pair to everyone except for yours truly. And I wasn't bitter at all, but I was a little bitter. And so I did a post about it, and I just said, hey, here's a picture of my new shoes from Reebok, and it was just a pair of naked feet. And a friend of mine who is a sponsored athlete from Nike shot me a message and goes, what size are you? And they custom made me a pair of Metcons and sent them to me. They haven't arrived yet, but they're supposed to show up tomorrow or the next day. So I'll be doing a review on the Metcon soon because I'm excited to get them.
Have you ever tried the Innovates?
Oh, dude, I have all the Innovates. I mean, I've been around for 10 years. It was the only shoe you could get when you started. I have the original blue ones that everybody had. And to date, still my favorite shoe. They weigh about half an ounce. They're so light, great to run in, great for everything but rope climbs. I have the 195s, the 235s, the 230s. I have some other pair that's out there. I've got at least 4 pairs of Innovates. And I don't have the newest ones.
Those are my favorite, the newest ones.
Yeah, I need to get them. I was kind of holding out, hoping for a free pair of those too. One of my coaches is sponsored by them, and I was like, "You gotta give me some shoes, dude." But I may get a pair at some point. Dude, I got like 15 pairs of shoes, like
7 days in the week. But you're also doing like 3-day workouts.
Yeah, I know.
So you just gotta wear one every day.
CrossFit's not my only hobby, though. I also play guitar, so I want to buy guitars too. So like, the more shoes I buy, the less guitar strings I can buy. So it's just tough.
Just got to have one pair of shoes just for your guitar.
He needs his guitar shoes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming to talk to us. Let everyone know where they can find you and follow you and all that stuff.
Yeah, so Make Wads Great Again on Instagram. Make Pods Great Again is also on Instagram. The podcast is Make Pods Great Again. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher. I release those also on Twitter, which I'm also on Twitter. And that's kind of it. And then we're on YouTube. Same handle, Make Wads Great Again.
You said you have some episodes live, or they're all waiting to go out?
They're all waiting to go up. So, I mean, I've got 78 episodes that are out and released.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, cool.
And then I've got another 8 sitting on my desktop that I just need to edit and be done with. So
awesome. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. Take care.
All right. Take care.